think we're on. Okay, everything is kind of not in real time, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. Good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me? Because I can't tell if I have any sound on. Hi, Yorkshire Crafter. I see April's here. Diamond Painting with Nicole. Marianne Johnson. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Anne. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon. Whatever time of day. Oh, good. Awesome. Okay. Everything's on a delay. I'm using OBS Studio to do the multi-screen thing here, and I've never used it before. So, yeah, let me see if I can turn up the volume for you. That's going to take me just a second. I was trying to get all of this set up before I got in here, and of course I'm running late. So, and I'm trying to do too many things with my computer, so my computer's running very slowly. So I apologize. It's been ages since I tried to go live. And it's weird doing a live too because I can't hear you all respond to me. I have to read the comments. So it takes a while to figure out what's going on. Okay, I'm just trying to find. I have to go through this long roundabout thing to turn up the volume on my microphone, so that's why it's taking so long. Okay, let me see if this is it. I think this is it. Okay, almost there. Levels. Here we go. Okay, turning the microphone up now. Okay, it's increased now, so let me know if that's loud enough or if I need to turn it up some more. I won't close it out until you tell me that, that it's good enough. Okay. So, hi. I think everything's still running. Everything's on such a delay. Okay. So, how are you all this morning? How's it going for you all? I hope it's going okay. I'm going to move my mouse out of the way and get started with some packing. So I'm packing up. The dinky. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, it's on a major delay here, and I'm not sure how to watch it live really, so that I can better know what's happening as you're seeing it. But okay, so the other thing that happened this morning. Happy Easter! Happy Easter to all of you who are celebrating. If you celebrated or observed Passover last weekend, I hope it went well. I think, as I said on flosstube yesterday, happy spring equinox to those of you who observe the equinoxes. I do try to be as inclusive as possible. I want everybody to feel like they have a place here and it's a safe space for everybody. Hi, Marissa. I haven't talked to you in forever. So yeah, so I try to make it as inclusive as possible. So, you know, if there's a holiday I'm missing that you celebrate, please let me know because I am happy to learn about all the different things, different holidays and different cultures for other groups that I may not know about. I try to be well informed, but I'm not always as good about it as I would like to be. So, yeah. So happy Easter. I'm not sure what the proper term is for Passover, but you know, hope your Passover went well. Happy spring equinox. Summer solstice will be in a few months. What else is coming up? I think we're mostly through Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday and Ash Wednesday. All that stuff already happened. Spring equinox is Ostara, so happy Ostara. Uh, so, oh, and I have a message real quick. Let me check this. Uh, oh, Rachel forgot that I'm going live now. Okay, just trying to get. It's lives are weird, y'all. Lives are weird. So hopefully y'all will enjoy this. Yeah, okay. So now my computer has finished doing the thing that it was doing. I'm trying to get stuff off of my cell phone, and I really thought I could do that before I got on the computer, but obviously that didn't happen. So, best laid plans, right? Best laid plans. Hey, no problem, Rachel. I'm sorry I'm missing Michelle's D stash, but honestly, my bank account is probably going to be happier for it, for the fact that I'm missing it, because I've been spending a lot of money on yarn, y'all. These are going to be April's colors, Marissa, and I'm going to explain that here in a second, because that was the other thing that happened this morning. So, oh wow, the mail truck just came by. That's weird. So the other thing that happened this morning, I was opening up my packages to pull out my silks to start packing up for the April Silk of the Month, and it turns out that somehow I ordered March's colors twice. So the colors that we're supposed to have for April, I don't actually have for April right now. I have May's colors. So these were supposed to be May's colors here. But everybody's going to get May early, and then you'll get April next month because Jessie made an oops. So what that also means is that if you haven't gotten into the Silk of the Month Club and you're interested in getting March's pack, I have a lot of March. I have a lot of March. So and March's pack, for those who are not familiar, Rachel did just show these on her flosstube, but I'll show you March's silk pack. So, if the camera will show me, everything is so delayed, I have to wait. And I forget how much y'all can see, so like I'm setting stuff off to the side in the camera view and okay. So here are March's silks, and so the colors are Choco Latte, which is really, really pretty. It's a nice kind of creamy and light brown mauve kind of color. So that's Choco Latte. We've got Chinese Red, which is a sort of brick red, orangey, ochre kind of color. And then we have Chestnut, which is a nice rich brown. And last but not least, Cherry Wood. So this is a little bit more of a red brown, if you can see it. This camera won't autofocus, so holding it up closer is not going to help me a whole lot. But it's a little bit more red, a little bit more purple than the chestnut. So these were March's colors here, and I have lots and lots of March's colors. So check out the Etsy shop very soon. And you will see all of those listed. I'm really not sure how I managed to do that. I'm usually really good. I have a spreadsheet and everything. I'm really good about keeping the colors in order, but somehow I ordered double of those and didn't get April. So we're gonna do what we can. So this month, folks will be getting what should have been May's Dinky Dyes. So I'll show you what April's will be. So everything's gonna get swapped up. So these are actually in alphabetical order. This is what April would have been. So there's a sort of reddish brown, which is called Choco Cherry. Christmas Pines, which is a light blue green. This really dark indigo kind of color called Claremont. And then Cloudy Sky. So these, in alphabetical order, would be next. But I didn't order these because of reasons, whatever. So these will be May's colors. So that's what you have to look forward to in May. And in April, we will have these beautiful colors. So yeah, that's how things are going. That's how things are going. It's just, yeah, I was having a panic attack and I realized, you know what, you're a human being, human beings make mistakes, it is what it is, so we're just gonna go with what we have. And that'll be that. So let me see. Okay, let me just, I have a thing I gotta do on my phone real quick. And then I promise I'll be all yours. I'll do this last thing. I just have to free up space on my phone. It's giving me a blinky light. It's making me a little crazed. So I'm gonna do this and then I'll be ready to go. Okay. I promise next time I do a live, I will be sure to do all the things before I get on the live. Yeah, Marissa, I'm so glad that because what I've started to do now, ever since I had the issue with the Dinky Dyes not showing up in time, so for those who aren't familiar, I generally order my Dinky Dyes for Silk of the Month. I order them, let's see, I'm gonna set this up this way. Okay, so I generally order my Dinky Dyes right after I ship out the previous month. So for this month, I just finished sending out invoices and everything, and I'm gonna fix this so you can see the top of my head, maybe. Okay. I just finished sending out invoices and getting all those paid for April, so now's the time that I would be buying for May. But I was trying to plan ahead and purchase May early so that May would be here and then I'd be purchasing June and so on. So I've been trying to, because back in March, I ordered around the middle of February for March's Silk of the Month, and because of issues with the USPS, I did not actually get those until almost the 20th of March. So what I was going to do, because I had already purchased April's at that time, was give everybody April's for March, but then March's arrived before I shipped everything out. It was a whole thing, and it turns out that I didn't actually purchase April's, I purchased March's again for some reason. But in the midst of all of that, I ordered May's colors, so I still have colors to send out today, so or send out in the next day or two. So everything's good. Everybody will still get silks. They'll get the next letters next month. It'll be fine. I think most people, I don't think anybody is really actually sitting there going, my colors are out of order now. I can't, this is not good. I think everybody's cool with it. I know that when I purchase stuff like this, I'm just looking to ultimately build all of the colors, so it's fine with me if they don't show up in any particular order, because I'm not really paying attention to the order anyway. So I feel like that's probably where most folks are. But yeah, so thankfully I'm planning ahead, and I will be continuing to plan ahead. I just hope that, I honestly hope that I can sell all of these extra Marches, because I don't think I can return them. You know, and I order a bunch. You can see I order lots. So let me rearrange things a little bit so that I can let you see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to package these up, and then I'm going to show you some new Dinky Dye colors that have just come out. And I'm going to rearrange my camera slightly. I'll show you the brand new colors for 2021, which have just come out, and then I keep sliding out of the camera angle anyway. So yeah. Yeah, Rachel, I think the Rona has made us all a little bit more more understanding with things, which I certainly appreciate. I'm glad you like the colors, Marianne. You'll be getting some of these very, very soon. Yeah, Rachel, I'll probably do that too. I did that last month as well. I stuck a little note in the packages to explain why things were running so much later, because usually I ship these things by the 5th of the month. That's my whole thing, is I bill on the 1st. As long as the invoice is paid, I ship by the 5th, and last month things were very, very late. Now, a lot of people didn't mind and maybe didn't even notice, because I had a lot of folks that were on my Silk of the Month who also did pre-orders with for Expo, and so they were expecting their silks to get shipped with their Expo orders anyway. So in that case, they didn't even notice. But yeah, I like to be upfront as much as possible with stuff, because it's all about communication, right? It's all about communication. So let's see. Let's start. I actually have this other. I have a customer who ordered a back order one too. So that's a separate color. So what I'm going to do is I have a bunch of bags. I have all these little bags, and I keep shifting things and moving things because I'm not used to doing this on camera. So I have my bags. I have my labels. So I print these out myself. I have a thermal label printer, which is like my favorite thing in the world. So I print these out, and I now have started printing out enough, excuse me, to put on the bags and on the outer bags too. So we're going to do that. Hi, Lorraine. Good morning. Happy Easter. So I hope everybody's well this morning. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I'll have to go live more often so that I remember how to do all these things. Because that's really what it comes down to, is that I don't think I've done a live in over a year now. Marissa might be able to tell you the last time I did a live, because I think I probably did a live during one of the Diamond Paint-a-thons. I think that was the last time I did a live. So Marissa, I should connect with you after this and just be like, okay, so what are the new things that I need to know about doing lives? Like, because she goes live every week. Marissa is Crafty Heifer, by the way. She's fantastic. She cross stitches, she diamond paints, she sews. She's made some awesome, awesome bags. Love them. Let's see. Oh, hi, Alcha. You're not really late, because I've only really just gotten started. Everybody can tell you there were some technical difficulties. We've had some snafus this morning, so it's totally fine. There's really no magic to the stuffing the bags, Rachel. You'll see in a second. Hi, Dawn Loves Diamond Painting. Good morning. Happy Easter. I mentioned this yesterday on flosstube. I'm not really an Easter person, because I'm not, I just don't tend to observe those holidays, but I am happy for all of you who do observe Easter, so happy Easter. Happy for everybody who observes whatever makes them happy, so happy Ostara, happy Spring Equinox. Ostara and Spring Equinox are the same thing. Not everybody knows the term Ostara, I think. Did I get my pouches? The little bags that you made me? Yeah, I actually have them here next to me, Marissa. Yeah, James and Luna, I'm sure we're super happy to see Rachel. I won't steal her thunder, but I'm sure Rachel's going to have all kinds of fun stories to tell us about her trip back to Ireland. So... Okay, call you, is it Ellis, or am I pronouncing that right, or is that more like a Y sound, the two L's? You're named after your grandmother. Aw, that's sweet. Okay. So I'll say Ellis unless you tell me that that's incorrect. Yeah, if you haven't seen Rachel's pictures with Luna, you should check out Instagram because Luna was very happy to have her mama home, and the pictures are super, super sweet. Oh, Luna gave you the cold shoulder, huh, Rachel? I'm not surprised. She was probably like, Mom, you have been away forever. I really felt like you were never coming back. Like, how could you possibly be gone for so long? Perfect. Thank you so much, Ellis. Anybody, anytime. If I call you the wrong thing, please let me know. I am happy to be corrected. I don't like mispronouncing people's names. I don't like misspelling people's names. I don't like calling them by things that make them unhappy. It's a thing for me. Names are really important to me. So if I'm saying the wrong name for you, just let me know. I'm happy to be corrected. Also, if I use the wrong pronouns for you, please let me know. Because that's something that's very important to me as well. So, okay. So, what do we want to talk about this morning? I actually had some stuff in my head that I was going to talk about, and I've completely lost it because of getting everything together and everything being out of sorts this morning. So I will say I was watching more of A Discovery of Witches, which is a book series that's now been made into a television series on AMC. And I'm not sure if it's on AMC, the regular station, or if it's AMC Plus. But it's now a television show. Your cat's taking one. Oh, hi, Lindsay. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. I love seeing all these names that I recognize all the time from comments. How was my downtime yesterday? It was good. So yesterday I actually took an unplugged day for the most part. I did check in on the internet a couple times, but for the most part I turned my data off on my phone, and I didn't get on computers. I just kind of went radio silent for most of the day, so that I could spend some time stitching and kind of decompressing, because I spend a lot of time on computers during the week. So I stitched pretty much all day. I was really, really tired, so I wasn't as productive as I probably would have liked to have been. And I totally realized I'm not counting how many I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So I spent a lot of time on computers, and I want to, productivity. Yes. So I wasn't as productive as I might have liked to have been, but honestly, yesterday wasn't about productivity. It was about just taking the time to do things that I wanted to do, that I felt like doing, and trying not to get in that space in my brain where I'm doing the things I feel like I need to do, feel like I should be doing, and that kind of stuff. So spent a lot of time stitching. I got a few hours in on my model stitch, which was good because I'm kind of lagging behind on it. And I also got a few hours in on my Whipco piece, one of my Whipco pieces, my celestial picture. So that was really good. And it felt really good to get some time in on it. I put it on my scroll frame, and I'll show that to you probably in a little bit. But I don't want to get up and get it right this second. But yeah, so I did some good stitching, spent some time with the husband after he got home from work. We went out and got some sushi, so that was good. And then we watched a couple episodes of The Irregulars, the second of which I mostly slept through, so I have to rewatch that later. Oh, Planet B is so cute. That is the cutest thing ever, Ellis. I love that pattern. Heike is working on that too, and I love seeing her progress because she stays on top of these things. Oh, lots of people did stitchy stuff yesterday. That's cool. I'm glad we all got some stitchy time in yesterday. It was very good. So yeah, that's why I was watching Discovery of Witches, because I was stitching while I was watching Discovery of Witches. So, and I'm getting more into the show. It's really funny because the romantic aspect of it kind of bugs me. This idea that the woman's, the main character's powers are somehow linked to her love for this guy kind of bugs me. But at the same time, there's a lot of other stuff going on, and it's really kind of cool. So, Oh, hem a pair of pants for your daughter, yeah. Lorraine, yes, these are the monthly packs. These are April's. These are the colors that are being mailed out for April. Let me just make sure I'm not missing a non-digital days. Yeah, April non-digital days were really nice. Sushi is fantastic. Fairy Hill Poet. That's my favorite. Oh yay, Lindsay, you got your first vaccine. And stitching on Dark Queen. Yeah, see, Heike is getting me back into my. She's gotten me to the point where I'm starting to be itchy for getting back to Dark Queen. So I think the Queen might come back out this month. I might get some more work in on her. Okay, Julie, good to meet you. Yeah, Heike finished the March. She is so on top of things. It's like she kind of she makes me, she doesn't make me feel bad, but but I'm always a little jealous of how on top of things that she is. I have to remind myself that she's much more monogamous of a stitcher than I am or Rachel is. So she does tend to keep on top of things because she's only working on 3 or 4 things. Yeah, Dark Queen is really nice. I have my Dark Queen right here close. So you probably all have already seen this, but this is like my current favorite piece with my rainbow bird. So this is Long Dog Pandemic. My camera will focus. I love my rainbow bird. I don't know why I love this rainbow bird so much, but I do. So there's Pandemic, but my Dark Queen is right here also. So she has a neck now. Or actually, she doesn't have a neck. She's starting to have a shoulder. Mostly, she just has her décolletage there. So I have a lot of work to do. So I only have 1 fish. There's 2 more fish. There's some coral. The new drop is a trident. You know, she's supposed to have a face and hair and all that sort of stuff. So I'm definitely lagging quite a bit on that. But you know, it is what it is. So I try really hard not to worry too much about staying on time with stitch alongs because that really got me last year. Okay, Marianne. Yeah, make sure that you get that ham in the oven. I know lots of folks like to have ham for Easter. I keep hearing about the modern folk embroidery for 2021. I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard a lot about it, so people must like it. Oh, show it on the desk cam. Can y'all tell? I don't know how to do things. Yeah, it didn't occur to me to just put it. Rachel's got to be laughing at me. Okay, there we go. One day I'll figure out all this YouTubing stuff, you know? One day. I know I was shocked at how many packages Rachel had waiting for her. So yeah, there's the Dark Queen. I don't know if you can see it better or not versus the other one because this one doesn't autofocus for me. But yeah, you can see she's almost got a shoulder. So yeah, I think once I kind of feel like I'm gonna hit my whip go goals early this month. So I feel like if I hit my whip go goals fairly early, I'm probably gonna pull the Dark Queen back out and work on her. Okay, let's do some of what we're here for. Thank you so much, Dawn. Excuse me, hiccups. Felt too much pressure. Yeah, I felt a lot of pressure trying to keep up too. Yeah, I had the exact same feelings, Lindsay. So I got, it was so much pressure trying to keep on top of things. Let me make sure I got these in the right order. Coolaba. Yeah, this. And that's COC. COB. Okay. I'm just putting stuff in alphabetical order because this is how I do. Nobody probably cares but me. And I see I have a text message. That's probably the husband's texting me when he knows that I'm on a live. because that's how this goes. Let's see. Oh, no, it's just Verizon telling me my bill's due. Okay. Or actually, it's telling me what my bill will be when it is due. Turkey tacos. Just trying to catch up on comments, sorry. Yeah, turkey tacos sound like a way better option than ham to me. I do like ham on occasion, but I've kind of gotten out of ham. We ended up having ham a couple times around Christmas and New Year's, so I'm over ham, and we're not doing anything Easter related. I think we're gonna have grilled cheeses for dinner, personally. Thank you, April. I appreciate that. I just stitch like I stitch, so it's however it comes out. And I love that. Yeah, the main reason that I like to stitch in so many different colors is because I really love color. So stitching in lots of different colors all at one time makes me happy, and I think that's the whole reason to cross stitch, is to just be happy. So I'm right there with you. Oh, thanks, Marissa. This fabric, the fabric for Dark Queen, I actually dyed that myself. So I don't normally toot my own horn, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out, because I loved the fabric that they came up with for the stitch along, but I was dyeing fabric at that time. I'm going to be dyeing more fabric, but it was a time that I was dyeing fabric. I wanted a certain look, and I actually managed to achieve it, and I'm so happy with it. I don't normally have the exact results I'm going for when I'm doing different kinds of craft projects, so I was very excited to have this much, to get exactly what I wanted out of this. So this is, so yeah, this is like, I'm so proud of this fabric. I'm so proud of it. It's just, it's my favorite piece of fabric ever. I don't know. Okay, I promise I'll leave the queen alone. The queen can stay away. Okay. Speaking of phone bills, yeah. I don't even want to know what your phone bills are like, Rachel. Aw, still in lockdown. I'm sorry. Scalloped potatoes with ham. That sounds really good. Gourmet grilled cheese. Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about gourmet grilled cheese. So see, I'll probably use Italian bread to make my grilled cheese. My husband, he does what he calls ghetto grilled cheese, and I need to get him to use a different term, because I think that's kind of offensive. But anyway, so what he does is he will take 2 pieces of white bread, plain white bread, and he'll put a slice of American cheese, Kraft singles, between the bread, and like he'll toast the bread and then put the cheese in between and microwave the sandwich, and that's how he makes grilled cheese. And I'm like, that's not grilled cheese. You need butter, and you need good bread, and you need good cheese, and like that's what grilled cheese is supposed to be. So thank you, Ellis. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, that's my favorite fabric ever. It's just about my favorite color ever, but I'm certainly extra proud of it because I made it, so I feel very proud of that. Yeah, Lorraine, you're never going to get fed up with purple. There's no such thing as fed up with purple. Purple is a lifestyle. It's not a color. So yeah, that definitely backfired on you. Oh yeah, it does need to be a little bit warmer for ice dyeing, Marissa. A little bit. Yeah, Rachel. Ew, Adam, no. Lockdown since December. That's rough. That's really, really rough. Cheesy hash brown potatoes with ham. Yeah, just immediate family. Yeah, if we were doing anything for Easter, then it would just be Adam, myself, and my brother, because he lives close and we're basically in a bubble. So yeah, but we We don't really do Easter. We haven't done Easter since I was a little kid, and we did Easter baskets with chocolate and candy and things like that. My mom would always make really fancy baskets. In fact, we used to have Longaberger baskets, special Easter Longaberger baskets filled with all kinds of chocolate goodies and stuff. It was fantastic. Thank you so much, Dawn. I appreciate that. Yeah, I keep expecting to excuse me. I keep expecting to get over how much I love that fabric, and it just doesn't happen. I just keep loving how much I just keep loving that fabric so much. It's really kind of funny. So Rachel, this is how I package these. I pull them in alphabetical order, and I make sure they're nice and straight, and then I fold over the little tags, and then I take the bag, and I, sometimes with much trouble, stick them in the bag and let them fall. And there we go, and it's in the bag. I hope you do at least get to Skype with your family in Ireland, Rachel, because I know that you have to have missed them so much during all this time. So I hope you're at least able to do that and say hi to them. Sourdough garlic butter parmesan blend on the outside. Oh, you are speaking my language, fairy tale poet. Yes, yes. Yeah, purple is a lifestyle. Full coverage on a bunch of lilac flowers. Ooh, that sounds gorgeous. Lilacs are very pretty. Oh, Marianne, you also have Longaberger Easter baskets? Yeah, I'm not sure where my Easter baskets are, and you know, Rachel can corroborate this, but I literally have a garage full of Longaberger baskets. Because my mother not only collected Longaberger baskets, my mother was a Longaberger consultant for a number of years. So we had lots and lots and lots of Longaberger baskets. And so when we all moved in together, my mother brought lots and lots of Longaberger baskets. And obviously when she passed, she left lots and lots of Longaberger baskets. So I have quite a number of Longaberger baskets, a lot of which I'll end up keeping. I've been planning on destashing the bulk of them just because we obviously don't use them. They're out in the garage. Some of them are very special. Some of them are just, they were like limited edition stuff that Mom bought. Some of them were ones that she used to use that she fell out of use, and that kind of stuff. But we have lots and lots and lots of Longaberger baskets, and no one human needs this many baskets, in my opinion. But I have a few special ones that I'll definitely be keeping. I don't blame your friend for asking for grilled cheese every time she came over. If that's how you're making grilled cheese, I am all about it. Cause yeah, that's, you can make grilled cheese for me anytime. Absolutely. Non-traditional Easter with hot dog and s'mores cookout. That sounds fantastic, Amy. I would be down for that too. Hot dogs actually sound really good. I bet I could convince Adam to have hot dogs instead of grilled cheese if I wanted to. Oh, my garage is basically a big container for Longaberger baskets. Yeah, it pretty much is. There's way too much stuff in our garage. We're really gonna have to get in there and weed some stuff out, because it's just too much, way too much stuff. Yeah, Marianne, so you know how it goes. If you have a Longaberger consultant in the family, then everybody has baskets. That's just that's kind of how it goes. It's just like if you have any of those type of if anybody in your family is in any of those types of things, then everybody in the family has those things. So I also, when I was younger, I never did Longaberger. I never was a Longaberger consultant, but I did do, when I was younger, I did Princess House. And Princess House is a glass, a company that sells high-end glass stuff. So not only like wine glasses and fancy things like that, but like lead crystal cooking dishes and servingware and all that kind of stuff. So I did that for a while. So I do have quite a bit of Princess House stuff as well. I've gotten rid of a good bit of it just because I don't use that much glassware. I've kept a few of the wine glass sets and things like that that were special to me, but I've gotten rid of a lot of that because it just wasn't terribly useful to me. But I also did Party Light, which is a candle company. And there are boxes of candles out in the garage, which are actually probably boxes of wax out in the garage at this point. Did that for a while. I did Avon for a while. Yeah, I did several of those kinds of things. It took me a while to understand that I really don't have the right personality to be as successful as I could be with that kind of stuff, because I'm not a hard sales person. I'm very much this product is awesome and I enjoy it because, and if you would like some, I'm here whenever you want to purchase it. Oops. But I'm not I'm not the one that's going to chat up everybody that I ever meet on the street and be like, do you want Avon? Do you want Party Light? Yeah, I'm not that person. So, the kind of shop that I'm running now works much better for me because it's like, I have an Etsy shop. If you enjoy these things, please check out my Etsy shop and I'll be happy to ship things to you. Otherwise, have a great day. And then I just leave it there, Let's see. What comments do we have? Slice the hot dogs and put them in the grilled cheese. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's such a great idea. Incorporate the baskets into some form of craft storage. Lindsay, absolutely. I have some pieces that I actually keep intending to do that with. I haven't for a number of reasons, mostly because I have about a bajillion plans and my ability to make said plans happen is very spotty. So unsurprisingly, a lot of these baskets that could be crazy useful are actually just sitting out in the garage empty because reasons. But yeah, I probably will be using a lot of them for craft storage at some point. Oh, yay, Lorraine. Thank you for sending me that picture of your lilac. I will definitely check that out. So that's the notification I have. I saw that I have a notification on Instagram, and I just wasn't going to check it yet. I will check that out later. Thank you. Oh, yay, Marianne, you also have Princess House. I love that you actually know what I'm talking about with these things. Not everybody has ever heard of Princess House or Party Light. Hot dog grilled cheese. Hello. Pardon me, my nose is runny now. That's Elmic. I'm probably butchering your name, and I apologize. Please let me know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Yeah, Ellis, I would expect all these brands to be unfamiliar to you. They are, Longaberger especially is specific to the U.S. The baskets used to be made, handmade here in the U.S. in Ohio. They even had a headquarters building that was shaped like a giant basket, but the company has now gone out of business. Eggs and bacon grilled cheese. Yes, Lorraine, yes. Let's see. Used to do Creative Memories and Usborne. I'm not familiar with Creative Memories or Usborne. I'm assuming Creative Memories is like a scrapbooking situation. And I did buy some scrapbooking stuff at one point through a similar company. I don't think it was Creative Memories. Well, I'm glad you stopped by. It's happy to see you. Need to go eat dinner. Yep, I'm with you there. Go get you some food. I'm very happy that you stopped in to say hi. Princess House tea mugs have been using for 25 years. Yeah. Yeah, April, that stuff does last. I'm pretty sure that I forget what the design was called, but there were these lasagna dishes that Princess House made, these lead glass lasagna dishes, and my mom bought the biggest one that they made, which was like massive. If you think like large casserole for, like if you're feeding 10 or 12 people, this lasagna dish would be what you would use. It's huge, it's massive, and she used to use it for Thanksgiving to make dressing. My mom did. because back in the day we had enough people to eat that much dressing. And I'm not sure. I'm sure it's in the garage because it came over from my mom's house. But yeah, we haven't had Caldi's anything that big in ages. But those glass baking dishes were some of my favorites. Let's see. Oh, and you know Party Light too. Yeah, yeah. Party Light was pretty big back in the day, but I was like 18 or something when I was selling Party Light and Princess House. Hi Nancy, I'm glad you found me. Rachel is really, really kind to keep shouting me out on things, and I appreciate all the folks that decide to check me out from Rachel's shoutouts. It's always nice to meet new people. I think probably a lot of folks found me through Rachel. That's why it's Rachel and you probably all know this story. If you came over here from Rachel Ray, then you probably already know that she and I have been friends for ages. We actually went to college together. I was At that time, I was back in college. I had taken a semester break and then had gone full time or gone part time for a while. And by the time Rachel and I met, I was actually back in college full time. So there's several years between us, but we actually did go to college together. We had like a big Soc 101 class together. I think it was Soc, not psychology. But yeah, so that's how Rachel and I met. So it's been ages. We have known each other for ages. Since long before her trek to Korea. In fact, she went to Korea right about the time that she went to Korea initially to go teach English. Was when my now husband and I first started dating. So yeah. We've known each other for just a little bit of time. Just a little bit. So, and then I met Heike through Rachel, and Heike is also one of my favorite humans ever. The first time I got to chat with Heike on Zoom, which happened because of the global panini of all things. I don't know if we ever would have Zoomed if it hadn't been for COVID and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, the first time I chatted with Heike over Zoom, it was like I had known her for ages, and it was awesome. It was the most awesome thing ever. So, let's see. Used to do Avon, but yeah, I didn't have much of a sales pitch. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I mostly joined these things so that I could purchase them cheaper myself. I think my camera's out of focus. Let me see. Bring it a little bit closer. You like my sound effects? Always have to have sound effects. Yeah, the camera just won't focus. I thought about using my new camera, but I'm not exactly sure if I can just plug it in and run it off of the computer, because it's like a camcorder. I think I can plug it into the computer, but that was way too much trying to figure things out before going live, so I didn't do that. So, okay, so now I have all these fantastic packages of Silky Love. I have all of these, and so now we're going to do the next step, because there are multiple steps. Everything I do has multiple steps. So we have all of these, so now we're going to take them and we're gonna do stuff, do more things. Actually, let me put these others, excuse me. Coffee gives me hiccups. Yeah, Ellis, we have a long, long history. We've known each other for many ages. Yeah, and I figured you came over from Rachel too. I remember that you joined on about for Season of Smalls, and because I remember all of your different finishes for Season of Smalls, and it was really awesome getting all those pictures. Let's see. Friends who are coming over today, I have known from college. Friends for 20 plus years. Wow. Yeah, 20 years is a long time. I think I have I have a couple of friends. I don't think Rachel and I have known each other for quite 20 years, but my other friend Rachel and I have known each other for just about 20 years. So when we met, my other friend who is not Rachel Ray, we call her Charlottesville Rachel. Belovedly, we call her Charlottesville Rachel. She and I met when her daughter was 3 years old. Her daughter is now 22. So so we have known each other for quite an age also. But yeah. So at this point, I have different colored bags now too. So we're gonna do pink. Pink for April. Because why not? So you did a really great job for it being your first experience with counter cross stitch, Anne, because you were doing some really pretty stuff. Oh wow, yeah, that's a long time friend, having a friend still from middle school. I'm actually not in touch with any of my friends from middle school or high school. It's just one of those things. We all went separate ways. A lot of it came down to, and it's going to be crinkling now, so I apologize for that. A lot of it boiled down to, I went to middle school with certain people that I was really, really connected with. I need my April stickers, that's what I'm looking for. So I had some really great friends in middle school, but I went to middle school in one area, and then I actually applied to go to a math and science magnet school for high school, and that high school was the high school where they were having that program was in it was in the same county, but it was in a whole different area, so it was not in the same school that I would have normally gone to high school at. So a lot of the friends that I had made in middle school went to what should have been my high school, and then I went to the magnet, the math and science magnet program. One of my close friends also went into that program with me, and we got very, very close, and we stayed close into our first year of college, and then things happened. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but essentially we parted ways. A lot of it, the simple version, really comes down to, she had experienced some things in her life. She was struggling with some stuff, and she had this idea that she needed to reinvent herself. And she felt that she couldn't reinvent herself as long as she was still hanging out with people who knew her before. So ultimately she cut ties with me. I probably I wouldn't have ended our relationship. I certainly wouldn't have ended it that way. But she cut ties with me so that she could become a new person. And so then we weren't friends anymore, and it just was what it was. So, and she was the one person I probably would have stayed connected with up to this day had that not happened. The rest of my high school friends went to different colleges. We weren't in touch after high school. So consequently, pretty much almost all of my friends now are people who I have met since college. April, you don't have to feel like you're slacking while I'm working. It's actually really nice to have folks to chat with while I'm doing this kind of stuff, because it can be so boring. This is why usually when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I'll put on flosstube or something so I feel like somebody's hanging out with me. So this is actually really nice, having y'all hang out with me while I'm doing this. I felt like doing this as a live was a really great way to get something accomplished and have a live with y'all, because I have a hard time setting up lives because it takes so much energy and stuff, but I have to get this done, and so the live is kind of like my reward for doing the thing that I have to get done. I think I've missed some comments here. Okay, I didn't miss too much. Oh wow, fairy tale poet. Yeah, so So you're friends. You've been friends with that person a little bit longer than I've been friends with my other friend Rachel. Yeah, Alice, I can understand. With a smaller country, it does tend to be easier. In the U.S., you can get spread so far out. So it's really funny because, comparatively speaking, like if we're talking about distances and things like that, so the whole of Ireland, I have driven across the entire the full width of Ireland. So because if you arrive in Dublin, then to get to where Rachel lives on the far west coast, it's about 5 hours of driving. If you're American, it's probably closer to 6 or 7 because you don't know how the roads work. But so it's roughly 5 hours of driving. So to put that in perspective, I live in Virginia, a little bit south of Richmond. 5 hours of driving from me puts me in New Jersey. 5 hours in the other direction, like it takes 10 hours to get from here to Ohio or Indiana. And those are states in the middle of the country. So to drive all the way to California would be like a whole day. Like I think it's something like 20 hours of driving, 24 hours of driving. So yeah, the U.S. is huge. Huge giant. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I didn't have friends in my neighborhood. Like a lot of people remember the kids that they grew up with. I didn't really have friends in my neighborhood. I had a couple of friends at school. Wow, 47 years, Lorraine. That is a long time to be friends. Yeah, Ellis, folks do drift apart. I mean, I'm connected to a lot of my old friends on Facebook, but I don't really consider that being connected, if you know what I mean. Because I think you all get it. Like, just because you're connected on Facebook doesn't mean that you actually have any real interaction with folks. So one of my dear friends from middle school, we're actually connected on Facebook. So I see what's happening in her life. She's got kids now. She's involved in a lot of uh, political social justice stuff, which is really awesome to see. But we don't talk on a real level. So it's good to know that she's doing well. It's good to know that she's happy, but we're not friends. Like certainly not like we used to be. Okay, Anne, have fun walking your dogs. It was good to chat with you. Doing dishes while watching. That sounds like a good thing. Yeah, I do that kind of stuff too. A lot of times I'll put I have this really, it's really funny. I need, when I'm in the kitchen, if I'm cooking or if I'm doing dishes or something like that, I find that I need voices around me. It makes it easier to stay on task and be focused. So I have a Google Home Hub thing. And what I'll usually do is I'll put on a floss tube, or I'll put on Star Trek The Next Generation or something. I'll put on something so that I can basically just have a voice in the room. It's like, there's this technique called, is it mirroring? I forget. It's basically like if you have ADHD, or if you have, if you're neurodivergent and you have issues with executive function, just that part of your brain that says get up and do the thing. One of the things you can do to combat that, to get around that, is to actually have somebody sit in the space with you while you're doing the thing. There's something about having a person physically in there with you. They don't have to be doing the same thing. They don't have to be working with you. They just need to be in the room with you while you're doing the thing. And that somehow signals your brain, okay, settle down, let's focus. And so my version of that is to put on a floss tube, or to put on a television show where there's lots of dialogue. And that kind of makes me feel like those people, like there's people in the room with me, so I can stay focused and do the task, which is really weird and fun. Let's see. Yeah, Julie, I picked this time to try to be, to try to have the live available to as many folks as possible, because I know I have a number of patrons who are outside of the U.S. I have patrons who are in the western part of the U.S. too, so this isn't really convenient for folks who were on the West Coast, and I apologize for that. But I figured 11 o'clock was early enough that that my European friends could join, but late enough that most of the folks in the U.S. would be able to join. Unfortunately, for Australia, I know that this is like, I think it's probably like 1 a.m. in Australia, and I apologize for that. It's hard to work in the other side of the world to do this. So at some point I will probably do, especially if I make this a regular thing, I'll try to do lives at various times so that I can try to make it available to as many people as possible. But I did try to make it earlier. I also don't want to step on other folks who might be doing lives. I didn't realize that that Michelle G over at Bendy Stitchy was doing a live D-stash, but like I said, it's probably better for my wallet that I'm not in there. I know that Cal goes live later in the day, so also I wanted a live time that would work for me, and I didn't want to have to be up at the butt crack of dawn to make sure that I was ready. So 11 o'clock gave me time to get up and have breakfast and, you know, try to get things together, even though I ran late anyway. That's just how it works. Oh wow, Marissa, yeah, that's such a good point about distance and travel and stuff. So 5 hours is still in Texas. From one side of Texas to the other. Texas is literally bigger than Ireland. So yeah. And technically when you're in Ireland, you have the opportunity to visit 2 separate countries, because Northern Ireland is part of the UK, or yes, part of the UK. Not part of the EU anymore, but is part of the UK. It's a British territory, while the rest of Ireland is an independent nation unto itself. So technically there's 2 countries inside Ireland, all within 5 hours of each other. So yeah. Closest friends now I've only known for 6 years or less. Yeah, Marianne, I have that too. So Rachel is one of my longest time friends, but I also have some close friends who I've known for significantly less time. Heike is one of those. A few folks that I've met through work, through my current job, I should say. Most of my friends I've met through work, honestly. And the story of how I actually became friends with Charlottesville Rachel is actually kind of funny, because she and I were fast friends when I started working at a different place many, many years ago. We were fast friends, and then we had a falling out because of some really stupid stuff, and we were both under a lot of stress, and so there was a long time we didn't talk at all. And then the 2 of us were forced to work on a project together where we were literally closed in a closet, dealing with a whole bunch of old records and purging what needed to be destroyed. So we were in that closet working for a week or something like that. And obviously we could leave the closet and everything, but when you're stuck in a closet, like a literal records closet with another person for a week, you cannot help but to eventually talk to that person. And through working in that closet with each other for a week, we got over the issues that we had, and she became one of my closest friends of my entire life. So it's just kind of weird how stuff happens. She helped me a lot when my parents got divorced. I was 21 or 22 when my parents split up, and even though I knew it was what was best for them, and they knew it was what was best for them, it was still weird and difficult going through that as their child. It was just kind of strange. And she had been through that when she was much, much younger. So she was able to offer some perspective and stuff, and support me through that. So that was really nice. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, so several countries after 10 hours, you'd be in Switzerland by then. Yeah, my other friend Rachel actually lived in Vegas too, so Vegas time and East Coast time, or West Coast time. So it's early for you. You're in here early. It's only about 9 a.m. there. Oh my gosh, April. I feel bad that you thought it was at 8 a.m. your time. No wonder, because I got your email yesterday. I did read your email, and I'm going to respond to it. But knowing now that when you said you would try to be up, but you weren't sure if you would be, now that's so much more special to me, because now I know that you were trying to get up that you got up at 5 a.m. to be on the live. That's so incredibly sweet. That means a lot to me that you would get up that early to try to be on the live with me. So thank you. I appreciate that. So does anybody have any plans for today? Any exciting stitchy plans? Anything going on other than I know a lot of folks are having Easter dinner and stuff like that. I'm almost out of stuff to pack, y'all. Almost. I can't believe it's actually afternoon already. It means I've already been doing this for an hour. I expected to have more stuff to pack because I did not realize that I had too much merch. Just south of Reno. An 8-hour drive from Reno to Vegas? Wow, I didn't realize it was that far. Yeah, because my friend lived in Henderson, so she was right outside of Vegas. And interestingly enough, I actually never got to visit her when she lived in Vegas. And she lived there for a number of years, but I somehow never got to visit her. That was in a time in our friendship where we were, I hate to say it, like, it wasn't like Ross and Rachel where we're on a break or anything like that, but it was a less connected time in our friendship, I'll say, because we both went through some stuff, and there was a time in our friendship where we were not, we certainly were physically very distant, but we were also emotionally a little bit distant as well, and that was during that Vegas time, so that's probably why I never went to visit her in Vegas. One of the many reasons. It's hard to stay connected to somebody in a different time zone, which is not an excuse, it's just a thing that happens. Let's see. Lockdown again, so no plans. I'm sorry, Nancy. Dinner time here, then probably stitching. Yep. I'll be stitching after I get done with this. Stitching right now, yay! Knitting, excited the days are much longer now. Yeah, on the topic of the days being longer. I was thinking this in my head the other day. So for me, because of working from home, because of the pandemic, because of all the things, time really has no meaning. I don't know what day it is most of the time. Time has no meaning. And so what happens now that the days are longer, now I'm really just adrift in this timelessness. There's just, it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I feel like it's probably 5 or 6. And then it's 7 o'clock and the sun is still out. So I'm like, it's 3 or 4, right? There's no sense of time anymore. I just have none. None at all. The day is just as long as the day is, and some days it feels really, really long. It feels like I need to take a nap or go to sleep and go to bed at noon, but then at 6 p.m. I'm like, yeah, let's get this day going. I don't know what's going on. My circadian rhythms are all over the place. Let's see. Diamond painting and crochet today. I need to do some more diamond painting. I should probably do some diamond painting lives is what I should do. Because diamond painting is super easy to do while you're chatting with folks. Diamond painting now, cross stitch later, maybe games with the family. Oh, games with the family are so fun. We used to have like Saturday game nights with my friends ages ago. We used to do it every single week where we'd get together and we'd play board games and stuff. I miss it so much. Sister and family are coming over later. Oh wow, you haven't been together in a year. That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you and your family. I know a lot of folks are finally getting to the point where they can see their family again. I've been very, very lucky from that respect because my brother lives so close that that he's basically been part of our bubble the entire time. So there were the first couple of months when the lockdown was at its tightest here in Virginia. We did not see each other. We didn't spend any time. It was just me and Adam, and we didn't go out or see anybody. And then once things started to lift somewhat, we expanded that bubble, and so we saw my brother again and that kind of stuff. So I can understand what it's like for the folks who haven't seen anybody in a year. I know that that's really, really hard, and I'm happy that y'all are starting to get to see your families again. Let's see. Diamond painting and coloring. I have a coloring book that I keep meaning to do here for the channel. I'm not really great at coloring, but I figure I'll do some coloring and put some music in the background and y'all can just watch and listen. I figure that might be a fun thing. Oh yeah, definitely see if you can schedule your vaccine. Here in Virginia, they're actually moving to Group 1C like next week in some localities. They're actually getting the vaccines out quickly enough that they can start opening up to pretty much everybody. I know that by the 18th of April, they plan for the entire state of Virginia to be open to anybody 16 and over who wants a vaccine. So that's pretty awesome. I have my second vaccine shot on the 14th, so I'll keep y'all updated. What I'm hearing is that when folks have a reaction, it's the second shot that really does the doozy, and that happens like 12 to 18 hours after you get the shot, so we'll see. I didn't have any issues with the first shot. I had a sore arm, but it was just like if I had gotten a flu shot. It was that same level of discomfort. Other people have had significantly more pain, like where they couldn't use the arm. So I didn't have that problem. It was a normal amount of soreness from a vaccine. Oh, Lorraine, I'm sorry that your hand hurts when you diamond paint. DP along of butterflies coming soon. Ooh, who's hosting the DP along with the butterflies? Because I could be down for that. I don't think I have a butterfly diamond painting anymore. I think I might have destashed that one. Sweet Isabella for the butterfly event. Is that from DAC? Who does that one? Fairy Tale Poet. Oh wow, April, awesome. So Nevada's opening tomorrow. So yeah, everybody who wants one should go get a vaccine like immediately, as soon as they can. Yeah, Ellis, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about folks having issues getting vaccines in Europe. I know that that's a problem, and I'm hoping that it gets resolved sooner rather than later. I know that that's difficult. Bella Art de Nicole. Oh, I'll have to check for that one. But yeah, I love butterflies. Butterflies are a thing. Okay, so I have all my packages. These are ready to go in the little bubble mailers. I was using these little poly mailers, these fairly thin ones, and I discovered that those apparently were getting like static stuck to the inside of the mailbox at the post office. It was causing issues, so I have switched the packaging for these, and I will put those in bubble wrap or bubble mailers later today. Because of addresses, I'm not going to do that now. So I'm just trying to figure out where I can put these now that they won't fall over. So, since I'm moving things around. So these are March's colors. These are going to go in the Etsy shop. What I might do is separate several of these out into silk packs, and then actually list several of them as like 2 or 3 skeins of the same color. I think these might be popular colors because I know a lot of folks use brown and neutrals and things like that. So I might offer some of these as individual color packs as well. We'll see. But I have quite a lot of them, and I need to get on ordering now April's or the colors that should have been for April and the colors for June so that I can I can get ahead again, since now I'm behind. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, again, these are March's. I'll show you the brand new colors for 2021. Craftably. Yeah, thank you, Ellis. Yeah, it definitely feels like an accomplishment. I'm starting to, I have, I think, 12 or 13 regular subscribers. So it's getting to the point where it is a good bit of work every month, which I don't mind because it's kind of relaxing and soothing. So these colors that I'm putting out now, these are the 2021 colors from Dinky Dye. So these are brand new colorways that they have come up with. So these are the brand new ones. Seeing them here first. These are going to go up in the Etsy shop in the next couple of days. Vaccines are only for 65 plus. Wow. Quebec is a little bit behind. Or is it Quebec? Quebec is a little bit behind. Because a lot of places are, at least here in the States, a lot of places have opened up for vaccines, at least for folks who are under 65 who have pre-existing conditions. That's the group that I fall into, and apparently many of my friends, the people I know, also fall into that group, because as soon as they opened up the vaccination site at a university nearby, all of us finally got our email to get scheduled. So yeah, it was really awesome that they could open up that vaccination clinic, because it's huge. It's in the campus multi-purpose center, which is basically like a small gym. So it's like a large high school gym, a small college gym, and they're getting thousands of people vaccinated a day, and it's awesome. It's fantastic. It was really awe-inspiring, and yeah, so going to get my first vaccine was a really awe-inspiring situation. Okay, so brand new colors. These two are kind of my favorite. These are more like, these look like Easter colors to me. These two colors, and they're certainly nice colors, but they don't have that zazz that last year's colors did, and I think it's just because they're more muted, softer pastel tones. So nutmeg. This is nutmeg, which is a nice soft pale brown. Light nutmeg, and it has some variegation, if you can see that. So we got some variegation in that one. It's very nice. And we have delphinium, which is coming off much brighter on camera than it actually is. It's a pale blue, not nearly as robin's eggy as it's looking on camera. Delphinium. Grasshopper, which is a pretty bright green, like a really bright grass green. And this is Ski Trail, which kind of looks like pine in snow. We've got a sort of dark green in there mixed with white, so that's an interesting colorway. And then last but not least is Citrus, which looks a lot like orange sherbet. Orange and lemon sherbet. So yeah, so those are the brand new colors for 2021, and I'm going to package them up. I have handy dandy labels for this too. Oh yeah, Nancy, that makes sense. If Canada is buying from the US, that does make sense that it's taking longer. Lorraine, these are all silk. So these are Dinky Dyes, and Dinky Dyes only produces silk fibers. They do these, which are 6-stranded, just like your cottons that you're used to, like DMC and stuff like that. So you actually pull apart the strands to use these. And they also make jumbuck, and they do silk pearl as well. So the pearl threads are thicker. I'm not sure the exact weight. They have a couple of different weights of the pearls and the jumbuck. I think they also do some ribbon. Dinky Dyes does. But these are all silk fibers. The colors really are pretty, and the blue is very, very pretty. I do like this blue. Like I said, it's not quite as intense in person as it is on camera. It's a little bit paler in person, but it is still a really pretty blue. I love the orange a lot too. I like the sherbets. The sherbets are the sherbet swirl is what I want to call it, but they've called it citrus. So let's see. I have 5 packs to start, so these are going to go up. I have to get some pictures first, but these are going to go up in the Etsy shop. And I will order more of these as necessary, but I have 5 packs that I will put up in the Etsy shop to start. Nancy, do you not have any silks because you just haven't decided to make the jump? Because if it's an intimidation thing, I want you to know that you don't have to be intimidated. I was intimidated by silks at first too, because they are more expensive. So it's like, oh, this is such a fancy thing. How am I even going to use it and that kind of stuff? But you don't need to be intimidated. In fact, I did a video a while back. It's a Miscellaneous Monday video where I showed how I separate and pull threads for Dinky Dye silks and how I set them up to use them for cross-stitch projects. So if you're not sure how to use, whether it's silk or cotton, if you're not sure how to use threads that come in a hank like this, then check out that video, because that'll help you see that it doesn't have to be intimidating. It's actually super simple. I'm not going to do it with these. If y'all want a demonstration, I can grab some of my own here in a second and show you how I set that up to actually stitch with them. So yeah, so don't let yourself be intimidated. Now if it's a cost thing, I totally understand. You have to work within your budget, and that's completely understandable. So, but don't be intimidated, because you can totally do this. I believe in you. Sea Trail too. Yeah, they are all really cool. Got my first Dinky Dye stitch to stitch the Arctic Mermaid from Meridian Designs, and can't wait to stitch with them. They're soft. Yeah, they are super soft. Dinky Dyes are super, super, they're luxurious to work with, I will say. I really enjoy stitching with Dinky Dyes. They're probably about my favorite because they're so much smoother than cotton threads. And let me tell you, if you want just the most luxurious and luscious stitching experience, let me tell you, what you want to do is you want to get yourself a piece of Jobelan, and you want to get yourself some Dinky Dyes, and you want to go to town, because with Dinky Dyes and Jobelan fabric, it will feel like you are stitching through, I mean, it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so luxurious and soft and smooth. It's fantastic. So it's the best, it's my favorite combination to stitch with silks on Jobelan fabric. There is nothing in this world like it. It's fantastic. You should try it. Linen will also work, but I find that Jobelan is really, really smooth, and it's my favorite fabric to work with. I will say that if you're using a dyed Lugana, a hand-dyed Lugana by most folks is going to have some kind of heat applied, and so it will shrink. So a 32 count Lugana is going to feel more like a 36 count. And in that case, you'll want to use one thread, and then it will feel like joy. It will feel like pure joy. So just my 2 cents about those things. You're very welcome, Nancy. I'm always happy to help, because like I say, I was really intimidated by silks in the beginning too, especially because I bought the giant hanks of Silks for You silks before I even knew how to use silks or anything like that. I just jumped on that wagon, and then I was so intimidated I didn't do anything with them for ages. And it wasn't until I started stitching with Dinky Dyes that I realized, oh, this is really not something to be afraid of. This is actually very easy to work with. It does feel luxurious, but it's super easy to work with. So hopefully that video will help you out. Fairy Tale Poet, you totally should get back into cross stitching. I am a huge proponent of everybody cross stitching again. And I speak as somebody who took a huge break from cross stitching. So one of my whip go pieces is my celestial picture, which is probably literally 20 years old. I started stitching it in the early 2000s. And that was when I first got into cross stitching, was way back then. Actually, it was earlier than that, because, no, that's about right, like 2002. Because I started cross stitching when I was with my now ex-husband, so not essential spouse, but the mistake I made many years ago. That's about as fondly as I can refer to him, the mistake that I made. Anyway, because one of his sisters, was pregnant, and I stitched a baby announcement, a birth announcement for her, and that was one of the first pieces that I did ever. I stitched that. I stitched a Asian-inspired fortune design, and I stitched... I think those were the only pieces I finished at that time, and I started working on the celestial design, and I started working on a wolf piece that was essentially supposed to be for that ex-husband. That wolf piece, if you watch my old videos, I actually gave that away once I came across it, because I did not need that in my life, and I knew that somebody else would enjoy it and appreciate it much more than I could at this point. So I gave that piece away, but I still have the celestial piece. So I started stitching in the early 2000s, and then I stopped for a long, long time, and I picked it back up. How long ago has it been? 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I think it was maybe just after my mother passed away. I think so it would have been 2018, I think, is when I got back into stitching. And I had bounced around through so many crafts and not stuck with anything for the longest time. And then I got into cross stitching and realized that I was still cross stitching. Like 6 months later, I was still interested in cross stitching. A year later, I was still interested in cross stitching. It was the first thing that I had been able to stick with in ages. And I was like, oh, so cross stitching is my thing. That's the thing I've been needing to do all this time. And since then, it's just grown and grown, and now I have a YouTube channel, and now I'm selling cross-stitch things, and, yeah, so cross-stitch is my life now. So I'm all about everybody cross-stitching. I think it's really therapeutic, and there's so many ways to take a thing and make it your own. It's just, I don't know, it's just a really awesome craft. It doesn't take a lot of... it's not difficult. It's not one of those things that you have to develop a ton of skills for. It's something that anybody can pick up and work on, and you can make it your own, and you can be as fancy or as simple as you want to be, and it's just fantastic. It's my favorite thing ever. Oh yeah, Ellis, the customs charges are very, very difficult for folks outside the US, so I totally get that. Yeah, Amy, you totally have to try some Jobelin. You have to try some Jobelin. I finally just realized that one of my distributors sells Jobelin that I can purchase to dye. So I'm going to be very soon purchasing some Jobelin to dye myself, and I'm very, very excited about it. I'm curious to see how it's going to work with my dyeing method, because I do ice dyeing. I don't like using heat with my dye, mostly because heat involves a lot of things I just don't want to deal with. Ice dyeing literally involves fabric, dye, and ice. And it's super simple. So actually you need some soda ash too, but it's very simple, and I love the results. So I'm going to try ice dyeing the Jobelin, and I'm curious to see if it will do as well as the Lugana and Ada that I have dyed in the past. So that's going to be interesting. Oh wow, Fairy Tale Poet, that sounds really awesome. Rachel has a unicorn piece too. I don't know if she's still working on it or not. Jobelin is an even weave, Lorraine. And so Jobelin comes in your standard even weave counts. I've mostly seen it in 28 and 32. I don't know if it comes in 36 and 40 or higher. As far as I know, it's 28 and 32. Those are the counts that I'll be getting when I get my own Jobelin. So for those who are not familiar... oh, Rachel already answered that for me. I haven't, Rachel, like I said, I haven't seen 36 and 40 count, but that doesn't mean it doesn't come in 36 and 40 count. For those who aren't familiar, even weave is slightly different than linen from the standpoint that linen is a natural fiber and tends to have slubs and differences in the thickness and thinness of the individual threads that go back and forth and crisscross, whereas even weave is very uniform. So the threads that go up and down and the threads that go sideways are all exactly the same width and thickness, which makes it very even. So that's why it's called even weave. So linen can be different. You can have really thin pieces and really thick pieces and chunks and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so those are the main differences. Fairy Tale Poet, you shouldn't be intimidated by even weave and linen. It does take a little bit of getting used to, because it is different than stitching on Aida, but it's really it's just like silk. It's nothing to be intimidated by. I was intimidated a long time ago too. What I would suggest is finding a place where you can purchase maybe a grab bag that has a couple of pieces of even weave and linen in it, and you can try some small pieces, small charts on those little pieces, and that'll, one, it'll let you know if you even like it, and two, it'll help you build some confidence to work on larger pieces. That's how I started. Cross stitch is a lot more fun these days, because the old kits were so limiting. You were stuck with whatever colors you were given, and you didn't have the ability to go find new and different threads back in the day. Marissa, I have not tried jar dyeing, but I'm going to have to try jar dyeing, I think. I've seen some really interesting results with jar dyeing. Yeah, Rachel's my gateway YouTuber too, Fairy Tale Poet. She really is. Rachel got me into diamond painting. She got me into floss tubing. I got her into cross stitching, so the cross stitching is my fault. But but I got her. But she got me into the whole idea of talking about this stuff on the internet. So that's Rachel's fault. You can thank Rachel for my YouTube, for my floss tube. Let's see. Jobelan and silks would be perfect for a long dog. Yes. Yes, Lorraine. Jobelan and silks are perfect for a long dog. And let me tell you. Let me grab it again. So, my long dog. So this is Sangria, this color. This is from Dyeing for Cross Stitch, Kathy Davidson. She's one of my favorite dyers. I'm trying to get back into the camera. Okay. So this is cotton, as is the darker purple around the outside. Those are cottons, but this is Silks for You. So this is a silk. And it feels so nice. It's so nice to stitch with this. But even the cotton is very smooth. And I will say this, Kathy Davidson's dyed cottons are the softest cottons I've worked with. And they tend to knot less frequently, and they tend to fray less than other threads that I've used. Just FYI. Dyeing for cross stitch, some of my favorite hand dyed threads. She does silks too. I haven't actually used her silks yet. I use mostly her cottons, but yeah, this piece of fabric is Jobelan. This is Jobelan from Be Stitch Me, Brandy at Be Stitch Me. This colorway is called Storm, and it is my favorite. It's so fun to stitch on this piece. It just feels good. It feels good. It's my favorite. Let's see. The over two stitching takes a little bit of getting used to, Lorraine, but it's once you get used to it, your brain just kind of does it for you. It becomes a non-issue. Let's see. Looking forward to being able to purchase your hand-dyed fabric. Thank you, April. Yeah, it's something that I want to do, but it's one of those things where it's it just takes a long time. And I have some fabrics that I am going to be putting up for sale sometime that I've been meaning to put up for sale sometime. And what I'm going to do with those, just so you know, you are all hearing it first, what I'm going to do with the hand-dyed fabrics that I have on hand and I am going to sell, I'm going to offer those to my patrons on Patreon first. So before they get listed or offered anywhere else, I will be giving my patrons a chance to purchase those first. So if you don't follow me on Patreon yet, you may want to follow me on Patreon if you're interested in getting some of my hand-dyed fabrics. So when and if I get to the point where I can sell those fabrics regularly, I may not continue offering them to patrons first, but certainly while I'm doing these tiny batches and things like that, I'm going to offer those first to my patrons as a thank you for supporting me in that way. So I don't have a tier structure. I basically just have a pay or you don't. So you can support at any level. At some point in the nearish future, I may introduce some tiers, but not until I can determine exactly what I feel like I can offer on a regular basis for folks that are paying into tiers. So that's the long and the short of the Patreon. Okay, Marianne, it was so great to have you stop in. I enjoyed chatting with you. I hope your dinner goes well. Enjoy your family. Yeah, Marissa, I agree. Even Weave gives you the finish of linen, but it's much easier to see, like Ada. So I have a hard time with linen. I have more love for linen than I used to because I've learned more how to work with it. But there's a bigger learning curve with linen because of the differences in the really thin threads and the really thick threads. And I don't like to work with it as much as I do with Lugana and Jobelin because it's not as even. I do prefer the even weaves. Let's see, what's the difference between Lugana and Jobelin? Linen stitcher now. We'll stitch on Ada if I have some on hand, but linen is so much better. Yeah, so the difference between Lugana and Jobelin, let me see, give me just a second. I'm going to see if I can grab a couple of pieces. Okay. I just read through the comments really quick. Difference. Marissa, yeah, that's most of the difference between Lugana and Jobelin. It's actually, I don't know if it's specifically polyester. Lugana is made out of cotton and viscose, usually a 51 to 49% blend, 51 being cotton, I believe. Jobelin is rayon and cotton. And so the difference that you have with those, I'm going to put these down. I don't know if you'll be able to tell just from looking at this distance, but so on the left we have a piece of Lugana. On the right we have a piece of Jobelin. Let me get you right down into it and see if I can actually focus the camera. Yeah, okay. Hopefully that's all right, I guess. Okay. So now my Lugana here is actually a, it's an opal Lugana, so that might throw you off a little bit. But you might be able to tell just from even this angle, the Jobelin is much smoother. So you can't see as much texture. Okay, I have way too many things on the table now. Okay, so you can see that there's a little bit of texture with the Lugana, and there's not a lot of texture with the Jobelin. So, and the reason that is because the rayon is a smoother fiber than your viscose is. So I want to say that rayon has a little bit of plastic or something in it, so it gives you a smoother finish, which is why it actually feels smoother to work with, is because the fabric itself is actually smoother. It doesn't have as much texture and as much teeth. So let me see if I can put this a little bit closer. And you can also see here maybe that the Jobelin here, pardon my fingers, I have a tendency to pick my cuticles. Anyway, which is why you don't see my hands on camera. But you can see that this is a super even weave. I mean, look how uniform and gorgeous that is. And you can see that there's very little texture. It's really smooth. Whereas the Lugana here, you can see, even though it is pretty even, you can see that there's slight differences. The holes are slightly different sizes with the Lugana. And you can see that it's got a lot more texture. Even ignoring the opalescent part of it, you can see that it's got more texture. So there is a significant difference in how the fabric feels, how it stitches, and that kind of stuff. So I do love Lugana, but I tend to, at this point, I tend to stitch on 28 count Lugana because I like to use 2 threads over 2, and 32 count feels icky because it's just too tight. 1 thread over 2 for 32 count is fine. You don't need 2 threads for 32 count over 2 on Lugana. But look how smooth that is. It's super, super smooth. And that's why I love Jobelan so much. It's that rayon content that really makes it fabulous. So these, by the way, if you haven't watched flosstube, this is a piece of Bestitch Me. This is my Avocado March 2021. It's coming off the wrong color in the camera here. It's gotten really bright outside and that's really messing up my camera. But it's a gorgeous piece of fabric. This other piece, this is my Expensive Rich from Fortnite Fabrics. So that is 5-star from Fortnite Fabrics. So that's a little bit of the difference. And I can also get a piece of linen really quickly for you, and I'll show you how linen looks. So we've got our 2 even weaves here. Get in even a little bit closer. And here is our linen. So you can see how different those are texture-wise. So this one is really smooth. This one, I like the look of linen for certain projects, but I don't always like working on linen. And you can see it's got thicker and thinner lines. And then this is more uniform, but it's a rougher texture. So that's some fabrics for you. Fabric 101. Let's see, way far back. I don't actually care for Monaco a whole lot. Marissa mentioned Monaco, and Monaco is actually like Lugana, but it's even rougher than Lugana. It's a really stiff kind of fabric. Yeah, Amy, I agree with you that cross stitch isn't as solitary as it used to be. And I will say, Stitch did a lot to change my mind about how cross stitch can be and how the cross stitch community can be. Because getting into Stitch, it was really a community event. I'm really hoping Stitch comes back this year because I missed having a real Stitch last year and having a team and doing all the community stuff. It's something that really missed last year. The magnetic things that hold my fabric. So are you talking about these? So do you mean this one, or do you mean something like this? Oh. I got the camera way too close now. Okay. So this is a needle minder that I made out of an enamel pin, and this one is kind of funky because of how I made it. But this is a needle minder, which is designed to hold your needle, but it can also hold fabric. This is actually a cable. Ow! I bit my tongue. A cable cord tamer. It's a cord tamer, but you can use these to hold fabric. So they're kind of stretchy, and you can wrap them around stuff. And then they have the strong magnets on them. And these you can buy off of Amazon. This particular kind that I have purchased was not available last time I checked on Amazon, but you can find one similar. Just look for magnetic cord holder, and you'll find that on Amazon. Let's see. Oh yeah, everybody's answering. I'm way far behind in the comments. People are answering for me, but yes, that's how you find that. with one thread, so high count is, yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. A lot of folks really don't prefer stitching with two threads, and I understand that. I like a loop start, so two threads is perfect for a loop start, especially if you're working with a solid color, a DMC color, that kind of stuff. Loop method works really well. Lugana looks more plump, at least on camera, which would make sense for the texture difference. Absolutely, Lindsay. That is definitely a great way to describe it. So it's definitely thicker, more plump. I would agree with that assessment, because you can even tell the way that they're folded. Maybe you can't tell that well, but this is actually sitting lower than this is. So this is a thicker fabric. The Lugana is a thicker fabric. You're very welcome for the comparison. I talk about this all the time because it's a thing that I have learned about and I love talking about it. Yeah, I understand needing the holes on the Aida fabric. And I will say, as much as I'm not anti-Aida, but I'm definitely not an Aida stitcher anymore, because I much prefer even weaves and that kind of stuff. I will say that the one thing that I do miss about Aida, that I notice when I'm working on Aida, is that you can do pin stitches in Aida. And I think you can do it in even weave too, but it's more difficult. But pin stitches are my favorite thing, and it's only really useful when you do it in Aida, or when you have Aida to work with. Because what you do is you bring your needle up through two of those up and down threads, and then you put it back down in the middle so that it's going between the sideways threads, and then you bring it back up on the other end of the up and down threads, which is making a lot of sense the way I'm explaining, and then you go back through the middle, and that way you pin your stitch in so that you don't have to thread it through on the back. So you can loop start if you're using DMC or something like that. You can loop start so that you don't have to have a thread on the back to hold down, and then you can pin stitch when you're finished so that you don't have a long thread on the back, and that's really awesome. And that's the one thing I really love about Aida that I can't do with other fabrics. So more of a Lugana girl, but if it's even weave, I'm happy. Yeah, I totally get you. Lugana is nice. I mean, I love this piece with the Dark Queen. I'm not going to pull her back out, I promise. My Dark Queen is Lugana, but it's 28 count Lugana, and I love the 28 count Lugana. I especially love the sparkly Lugana. It's my favorite. 2 whips on Lugana. Next will be Jobelin. Yes, yes, go to Jobelin. Come to the Jobelin side. Linen is very pretty for certain projects, and I have specifically picked linen for certain things, because I think certain things look better on linen. Like, some things need that kind of feel. You need that more rustic feel. Like my my Baba Yaga, my Witchy Stitcher Baba Yaga, that needed to be on linen, for a lot of different reasons. But it needed that kind of rustic, old, antique kind of feeling, and some things need that. So linen is important too. Every fabric has its place. Luna's taking Rachel on a walkie. That's nice. Yeah, loop start's my favorite. Oh, you do use pin stitches on linen. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're doing over 2, then you can still do a pin stitch. I haven't tried it. It doesn't feel secure to me. The warp and the weft. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know which direct. I guess the warp is, I think the warp is your horizontal, and the weft is your vertical. I'm like way too close. So warp and weft. Is that right, Marissa? That might be right. 2-thread stitcher for the win. Oh wait, okay. We can show this. For some reason, Lindsay's comment got held up. 2 threads, all the way to 36 count. Okay. Now, I will say that on 18 count Aida, because 18 count was my count for Aida when I was stitching on it regularly, I still use 2 threads on 18 count. It is very thick, but I prefer the full coverage to less coverage, so yeah, I'm with you on that one. One giant bird is on even weave. I would not do that on linen. Yeah. Yeah. So my Gamer Nouveau is also on even weave. I have a piece of 25 count Lugana that I am working on with that, and I would not do that on linen. Not for the life of me would I do that on linen. Okay, so I've explained all the fabric things, and we have all the, whether you wanted to know or not, I told you all about the fabrics. We got all of our brand new dinky dyes, and the camera's like way out of focus. There we go. Dinky dyes. Yeah, Lorraine, I've heard that there's a loop start for a one strand, but I haven't looked it up or learned how to do it. I suppose at some point I will. I just haven't yet. But yeah, I need to learn to do it because I've gotten really good, I'd say, at making sure that my threads are secure and making sure that they don't go all over the place. I'm a stickler for a neat back, but it's my back. I want my back to be neat. I don't care what anybody else's back looks like. So I'm not one of those people that's going to judge you because your back is not as neat as I would make mine, because that does not matter to me. Your cross stitch doesn't live in my home. My cross stitch lives in my home, and I want it to be neat. And it's actually, let me pull out my my Ada piece, my celestial picture for you. Because I want to show you, I want to show you the back. It's almost embarrassing. So, but only for me because I'm particular, and I can't get it out of the frame now. Okay. So, I'll put this here and take all the other stuff. So here is celestial picture. If I can get it straight. There we go. Get these fabrics out of the way. Actually, I have to show y'all. Okay, so this looks, it's not as green as it should look. But look at these colors on this. Okay, that's not looking as good on camera as I want it to look. But in person, it looks really, really nice. I'm going to have to do something with these colors on this fabric. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. I just dropped something. What did I drop? Okay. So, okay, here is celestial picture for your viewing pleasure. My camera is like way off center. So this is what it looks like now. I did about 3 hours of work on it yesterday. And it looks great on the front. Don't mind the dirtiness. I'm gonna have to, this is the first piece I'll probably actually wash when I finish, because it's so old that it definitely has some like finger oils that have gotten stuck in it. So that's what the front looks like. That's what the back looks like. For me, this is hideous. Like for my own work to look like this, it's yeah, it's bad. I do not like it. Should make a video of what we just covered for new stitchers. Oh, of the fabric stuff, Marissa? Yeah, I keep meaning to do that. Now that I know that my camera will actually show you enough of the texture, I will try to do that. Backs of mine look like constellations. Yeah, so this is the constellation method. We'll call it the constellation method. Yeah, this piece is pretty much full coverage. This is going to be a full coverage piece for the most part, because I think the full chart goes out quite a distance, and there's like one little section in here and in here that I think is meant to be empty, but I'm going to stitch it in white because I don't understand why you'd have one tiny section with nothing in it. And this fabric is kind of dingy, so I want it to look nice. Aw, April, I'm sorry that your mom makes you, like, examines the back of your work. Like, I never asked to see the back of anybody's work because, like I said, it's important to me what my back looks like, but it does not matter to me one bit what somebody else's back looks like. But see, so this is what a back looked like for me 20 years ago. This is what a back looks like for me now. So that's the back. Can you tell that's the back? Because this is how particular I am about it now. Um, and part of it is it's just part of my process now. Like I just it's something that I do automatically is try to stitch in such a way that my threads are going to be nice and neat on the back side. And I do make sure that I don't carry over much. Like I'm at the point now where if I feel like if I'm gonna have to carry something more than 5 or 6 stitches, I will usually cut it and I'll move instead of carrying it too far across. Um, so you can see I did carry this thread right here, but that's about as long as I would carry a thread, unless I know that I'm going to be stitching over it. So if I'm doing like a full coverage piece, and I have a design here and then that color's not used again until like way over here, I might carry that thread that far, but only because I know that I'm going to come back and fill that in with other threads so that that thread will be covered, because I don't like loose threads. And this is like the mother of loose threads. Look at that nonsense. Look at it. That's just... Now, none of that really matters, because when I frame it or when I do whatever I'm going to do with it, it's not gonna matter, because that'll be covered up. Those threads will be nice and secure. It won't matter, but it bugs me. It bothers me because I'm a little bit too perfectionistic. That's what it's really about. April, I'm glad your mom would be proud of me. Marissa, I'm sure your cross stitch is perfect. I'm sure it's beautiful. I haven't seen any of your stuff recently because you haven't been doing floss tubes, I don't think. So I'm still kind of annoyed, April, that your mom takes a brief look at the front and then closely examines the back. That's not okay. That's not cool. The front is what matters. The front is what is going out to the world, you know. So anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you, because this is like, I wouldn't say that I'm ashamed of this. It just bothers me. It bothers me way more than it should. But this is probably what I'm going to stitch on today. So my goal for the month for WIPGO is 3 hours, or I'm sorry, 5 hours on this piece. And I've already done 3, so I only have 2 hours left to finish this piece. And then I'll be moving on to Peppermint Purple, the 2020 black work stitch along. And yeah, so those are my April goals. I feel like I'm going to meet them pretty quickly. So then it might be time to pull the Dark Queen back out. She might need to get back on the frame for a little while. Lindsay, I totally understand. I am constantly, I actually have, I need to get a set of tweezers to keep next to my stitching area to pull the cat hair off of my projects, because so many times I'm stitching and there's a little tiny black hair and I'm like, what the heck? I do keep them as much as possible away from anything that's cross stitch, but they live in the house with me and I'm constantly covered in cat hair, and so many projects have cat hair in them as well. It's a thing. When you live with animals, you end up with animal hair in your projects. Yeah, Lorraine, that's the real reason to have any concern at all about what your back looks like. It's not about the aesthetics, really. It's about making sure that you don't have any big lumps or knots that are going to mess it up or cause textural issues when you're framing or when you're finishing it. That's the only reason to care at all about the back. And if you're not concerned about that, if you're going to finish it in a way where that doesn't matter, then you don't need to worry about your back at all. I feel very sad when I read people who have been told nasty things about their backs or been made to feel bad about how the backs of their cross stitch looks, because it literally does not matter. If it makes you unhappy that the back is not neat, then that's one thing. But if somebody else makes you feel bad that your back is not neat, that's just cruel. That's just mean. It's meant to be a hobby that you enjoy. It's meant to be something that you get enjoyment out of. And if you're stressed because of how the back looks, then that makes me sad. I don't like for people to feel bad. Oh, Marissa, I'll have to go check out your last floss tube. I've been checking occasionally because I don't do well with lives. because, so here's the thing. This is why I normally don't jump in on other people's lives. It's not because I don't love people. I love Marissa, I love Cal, I love Rachel and Heike, and I don't fail to join the lives because I don't love them. It's because lives are hard for me. So being a participant in a live is frustrating because if I want to talk, if I want to be involved in the conversation, then I have to be able to get to my keyboard, which means that it's hard for me to work on a project. So either I can work on the project or I can be involved in the conversation. I can't do both, and that's why it's frustrating. Now, a Zoom is my favorite thing ever because I can talk to you and I can hear you and I can respond and you can respond, and I can work on my project the whole time, and it's awesome. So I'm thinking about doing maybe a once a month Zoom with my patrons, if that's something that folks would be interested in, because I think that would be fun to actually be able to talk to you and hear you and that kind of stuff. Because even running a live is less fun than actually being able to chat with people and hear them respond and that kind of stuff. Yeah, Marissa, that's exactly the tweezers that I will have next to my table, because the diamond painting tweezers are perfect, especially those like little pointy needly ones. Yeah, those are the best for pulling out cat hair. 1% cat hair in mine. Yep. Just special floss. Absolutely, Ellis. Yes, Amy. Yes, tweezers are a necessity when you have pets. I also get cat hair in my diamond paintings, Fairy Tale Poet. I really do. I try not to, but it just happens. Lucifer is embedded in everything. Absolutely. Lindsay, I do that too sometimes. And I now have this Roku TV. It's my favorite TV. So my TV is actually a smart TV, and I have all my apps and stuff where I do all my streaming, and I can watch YouTube on the television, so it's nice and big. And then what I do is I watch it on the television, and then I make comments on my cell phone instead, because it's easier. Yeah, I can't stitch and join in lives either. Yeah, it makes me sad because I want to join in on lives, especially Cal. Cal is one of my favorite people. She's so awesome and fun and sweet, and I rarely, if I remember to join in on the live, then I feel bad because I can't craft and talk at the same time. It's frustrating. I think Zoom would be fun, so I think I'm going to set that up sometime soon. Probably it'll be at least 2 weeks. I prefer to do lives and Zooms and things like that when Essential Spouse is working, just because, one, he can't make special appearances if he's not here, but two, it doesn't impede or impinge on our time together either. He doesn't have to change his schedule or whatever if I do that stuff. So he's working this weekend, but then he'll be off the next 2 weekends, so it'll probably be the third or fourth weekend in April before I do a Zoom. But if you're interested in being invited to that, then you need to check me out on Patreon. So just FYI. Watch on TV with Chromecast, comment on your phone and tablet. Yep. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, I get you, Ellis. Most lives are not clued into European time. Are you what is the time zone where you are? Are you like, I'm trying to think of the GMT, because East Coast is -5 GMT. So are you on British time or EU? What part of the EU? Yeah, so definitely want to do a Zoom sometime soon. I think that would be fun. Especially because I could, if I wanted to, I could set it up like this, where you can see me on one camera and then have the work on another camera. Though my cameras are not as sophisticated as I would like. Though I can probably try to figure it out with the new camera too. Oh, that's sweet. That your partner diamond paints with you. I like that. Adam would diamond paint with me. He probably... He acts like he's somewhat interested in it, but I haven't actually sat down and had him try to diamond paint with me, so. I have a big canvas that I got, I think it's called Dragon Attack from Diamond Art Club. I got it specifically so that that Adam and my stepkid and I could all work on it together, because stepkid likes dragons. So I got that piece so that we could all work on it together. Okay, Alice. I'll try to keep that in mind. I know that I have a couple of European folks on Patreon. This time suits you, yeah. See, this is why Rachel and I are able to keep in contact fairly regularly, even though we're in completely different time zones, is because she's a late day person and I'm an early day person. So by the time I get up and around, it's about time for her to be gearing up and doing things. So yeah. Yeah, so I will probably try to do it. I might try to do it on a Saturday instead of a Sunday, just in case I can plan it for Australian folks who might be able to stay up late on a Saturday. That might work. Central European. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to see what I can do. We'll do a Zoom later this month. I think that would be fun. It'll be fun. So, okay, folks. Well, I think I've chatted your ears off enough for one day. I've got all my stuff packed up now that I can pack up, and I've got some orders I need to put together for the Etsy shop, and I want to do some stitching and all that kind of stuff. So I think I will let you all go for now. It has been enjoyable and fun, and I'll definitely have to do lives more often, because this is a good setup, I think, once I got used to it. So I hope you all have had fun. I hope you all have really a really good time the rest of this evening, or afternoon, or morning, whatever time it is for you. And enjoy your Easter if that's what you're celebrating. Enjoy your Sunday if that's what it is for you. So keep an eye out or an ear out for a future live, because I think I'll try to do this once a month. Maybe we'll try to do a Zoom once a month and a live once a month. That could be doable. Thank you so much for showing up, y'all. I've been happy to host. It's been fun. And yeah, so yeah, keep an eye out on my flosstube. I'll try to announce next time. I meant to announce it on flosstube this time and completely forgot. So I just scheduled it, and obviously y'all saw it, so that was fantastic. And if you're interested in hearing about special things that I'm doing just for patrons, make sure you check me out on Patreon. The link is in my videos. You'll be able to find that Patreon link. So thank you all so much for showing up. Thank you all for chatting. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. And I will see you all again next time.